Major military escalation. Israel and the United States launched joint strikes on Iran. Location: Tehran and other Iranian cities. Reaction across Middle East and globally. In a dramatic escalation of Middle Eastern tensions, Israel has launched a large-scale military attack against the Islamic Republic of Iran, with reporting indicating coordinated involvement by the United States. Explosions have been heard in Tehran and other cities. Airspaces have been closed, and emergency measures are underway across the region. What happened? Early Saturday morning, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz announced that Israel had launched a military strike against targets inside Iran, describing it as a preemptive operation aimed at removing threats to Israel's national security. Explosions were reported in multiple parts of Tehran, including areas near significant governmental and military infrastructure. Iranian state media and foreign correspondents documented missiles striking University Street, Jamhuri districts, and other central Tehran locations, with smoke rising visibly over the city. Shortly after, Iran declared its entire airspace closed, effectively grounding all civilian flights, as authorities assess the evolving security situation. Israel also shut its airspace and issued nationwide emergency alerts, urging residents to take shelter amid expectations of retaliation. U.S. involvement in major combat operations. A senior U.S. official, quoted in live reporting, confirmed that United States forces participated alongside Israel in the strikes, marking one of the most direct U.S. military actions against Iran in decades. Around the world, U.S. President Donald Trump addressed the nation, stating that major combat operations were underway, a phrase signaling a significant escalation beyond limited strikes. Trump framed the operation as necessary to counter long-standing Iranian development of nuclear and ballistic missile capabilities, and to protect U.S. and allied security interests. Some reports noted that high-value targets, potentially including sites near the offices of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, were among those struck. Iran's response. Although official state media initially provided limited details, Iranian authorities confirmed multiple explosions in Tehran and other regions. There are early unverified reports of missiles and drones being launched by Iranian Revolutionary Guard units toward Israeli territory and U.S. bases. In the Gulf region, Iran's closure of its airspace, a common measure during heightened military threats, reflects the severity of the situation on the ground. Iranian media described smoke over several cities, and there were also reports of sirens and alerts issued domestically. Domestic measures and civilian impact. Israel has put in place a special home front emergency, with sirens sounding across major cities, and a public alert urging people to stay near shelters. Iran closed its airspace until further notice, effectively halting civilian travel and redirecting any flights already en route. U.S. diplomatic missions in several Gulf states issued shelter-in-place orders for personnel as precautionary steps amid rising tensions. At the time of reporting, there were no verified casualty figures from either side. Details on infrastructure damage and civilian injuries remain unconfirmed and are expected to emerge as communications improve. Context and background. This confrontation follows years of rising tension between Iran and Western allies over Tehran's nuclear program, ballistic missile development, and support for proxy groups across the Middle East. Diplomacy between the United States and Iran earlier in 2026 had sought to curb Tehran's nuclear ambitions, but negotiations stalled, with disagreements over linking limitations on missile programs to sanctions relief. The strike also comes amid unresolved security concerns dating back to a 12-day conflict between Israel and Iran last year, and repeated warnings from Israeli and U.S. officials that military action could be taken if Iran persisted in activities deemed threatening. Regional and international reactions. While official responses from global powers are still emerging, early commentary indicates Western nations are likely to express concern over the escalation of hostilities. Regional governments in the Gulf are on alert, given the proximity of U.S. bases and strategic interests. Global airlines and international bodies will be monitoring the airspace closures and travel impacts. Analysts warn that the conflict could widen quickly, drawing allied forces and potentially affecting energy markets, global diplomacy, and civilian security across the Middle East. Current status, as of latest reports, heavy checkmark explosions confirmed in Tehran and other Iranian cities. Heavy checkmark Israeli and U.S. drone/missile strikes reportedly underway. Heavy checkmark airspace closed over both Iran and Israel. Heavy checkmark emergency civil measures activated. Heavy checkmark retaliatory actions from Iran indicated, but not yet independently verified.
Israel and the United States have carried out joint military strikes on Iran. It is being reported that several large explosions have been seen in Iran's capital. These strikes were carried out just moments ago. According to the reports that have emerged so far, these were missile attacks. This time, fighter jets were not used. The missiles were reportedly fired by Israel and from the U.S. naval fleet present in the Arabian Sea. According to Iran's state media, explosions have taken place in 5 major cities across Iran. Meanwhile, Israel has released an official statement saying that these were